more than that. I'll call it west, not being that very west. I think the people in Go and around Go experienced 4-hour crazy downpour that resulted in several flooding disasters. But first and foremost, I want to thank God, even though a lot of people have moved their words, but no life is lost. That is paramount. And once there is life, there is hope. So that's pretty new.
Right. How many households have been affected by this downpour? And have there been any immediate support provided for them so far?
Thank you, my sister. NADMO is still ongoing with their assessment. We are expecting, this happened during the weekend, we are expecting their preliminary assessment report by close of day. Myself, with my technical men, we are putting up some reports to be sent to Accra, our ministry, and other embassies that should come on board to support us. I'm talking to you, a lot of those community has been cut off. People cannot go to their homes with their vehicles again. Lorry roads are sent to footpath. People buildings collapse. And a lot of this and it is not anything assembly alone can manage. And we are putting a report together to other people, the ministry. And the swine ministry, the road ministry, might also come on board. Used to be a lot of people fell, a lot of water pipes that got damaged, and a lot of things went on. What I'm happy about is that no life is lost. Once there is life of people who lose all their water performance of these people. And the NADMO result or report is out. We cannot speak on the number of people who are affected, the households who are affected. But as I stated yesterday during the round, we have completed some demolition exercise, both our service center and area we call Upojo Street. We went there to do some exercise today, and it will continue from now at the areas we have identified are all pulled down.
Right. Why did you decide to embark on this demolition exercise in the municipality?
Yes, madam. This is not the first time this is happening under my stewardship. The first week of month in office when I became MP, the first exercise I undertook was something I call operating, let's get the roads open under the road train. I have done this exercise, maybe not because of the past exercise we have the municipalities, maybe the catastrophe would have been more than what we realized on Saturday. But because we have combined with this, because my background was regional director of NADMO, so I knew of these issues before I became PC, and because of knowing the background before becoming PC, I have taken some pragmatic measures to control or at least correct this mistake in the system. But the town is a very big area. It cannot be done with this exercise now. So it's a continuous thing that we must continue until the rest are done. So it is not new. I've started under the concept, let's get road open under the road train concept. We have been doing this all this while to continue until it is wholly done.
Right. The demolition is going to further compound the situation of those affected. Have you provided alternatives for such persons?
Thank God they are no longer in these structures. The people have moved out from the structures, and the structure has become a death trap to the public. Some are dilapidated structures that during the rainfall, part of it fell, and we are only helping them to get it cleared, the rain to be cleared. So, as I stated earlier, MADMO is still doing the assessment, and assessment is part of the disaster management process. And as they continue and come out with their report, we pick it up from there. But for now, everybody is there.
Looking at the situation with some communities cut off, as you just pointed out, how has it affected teaching and learning, today being Monday, and then economic activities in the whole municipality?
Alternative routes were identified, pathways, and we realized that is what they are using. People who were in town before the heavy downpour will not be able to take their cars back home. And people home before the downpour will not be able to take their car out of home to town. So that is the situation as we are facing now. So, urgently, something needs to be done, and that is what we are planning to.
Okay, as the head of music, what measures are you putting in place to forestall future recurrence?
Yes, one, we must identify all the storm drains. As a layman, not an engineer, what we are saying is that the storm drain size are smaller than the volumes of water that they are containing now. So there should be some expansion of these storm drains. And a lot of these storm drains must be provided at a lot of places to forestall a future catastrophe.
That'll be all for now, Mr. Divine Richard Bosan. Thanks so much for the updates on the flooding in the whole municipality. Now, the New Patriotic Party will, from Tuesday, July 11, open nominations for parliamentary primaries in constituencies where the party has no representation. The nomination will close on Thursday, August 10, with elections expected to be held from September to December. The party indicates that male aspiring parliamentary candidates must submit a non-refundable filing fee of 35,000 Ghana cedis, while women and persons with disability would pay 50% of the fee. Aspirants have been urged to act according to the dictates of the party's constitution and use the appropriate procedure to channel any grievances that may arise. Meanwhile, the vetting committee led by Professor Michael Quay have submitted its report to the National Council. The committee vetted all 10 aspirants seeking to lead the party into the 2024 general elections. The committee's spokesperson, Mr. Obi Amwa, said the party would finalize the remaining procedures leading to the primaries in the coming weeks. Now, members of the National Food Suppliers Association have vacated the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company following assurances from the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Brani Champon, on Friday, July 7, that payments will begin today, Monday, July 17. The food suppliers for 5 days pitched camp at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company to demand their money for food items supplied to senior high schools across the country. The spokesperson for the association, Mr. Kweku Amedume, says the group will resume its picketing if the government fails to honor its promise to pay them their money beginning July 17. We are joined on the phone lines by Mr. Amedume to continue the conversation. Hello, sir. Good afternoon, and thanks for your time. Good afternoon, sir. We'll try and establish contact with the spokesperson for the National Food Suppliers Association, Mr. Kwekwa Medume, to tell us more on the suspension of their picketing at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company. Now, security services in the country are moving a step further in improving security for all. This follows the introduction of K9 security services at various checkpoints and other security installations. The collaborative exercise is between the Ghana Police Service K9 and the Ghana Prison Service K9. This involves the training of K9 dogs across the country to check crime. One of the benefits of this exercise is to ensure that contraband is not introduced in the prisons by officers, visitors, or prisoners. This came up at a mini dog display in Accra.
Service K9 team and the Ghana Prison Service K9 team will ensure a safer environment for all. With the introduction of the K9 in the security services, the police will be able to check and apprehend persons with narcotics, ammunition and weapons, especially at the various checkpoints. To the Ghana Prison Service, the new security measure will ensure that contraband will have no chance in the prisons, either by the officers or visitors or convict who go out to work. There was a dress rehearsal on tactical movements to be employed during security checks and the ability of security dogs to respond to commands. The Tawanisong Dog School also had on display some tactics by trained dogs.
Those animals only become raw behaved.
Under the tactical support for attack display, there was a simulation with the help of dogs. Some riders who tried to escape police checkpoints were apprehended. Also, a vehicle carrying several luggage was stopped and searched by the security dogs, who snifed some suspected substances and later apprehended by the police. Fire drills were also not left out of the mini K9 display. The K9 security service will also assist the security service during patrols. The Director of Service and Acting Operations, DOP Patience Bafo Boni, touched on the importance of the K9.
We saw how they retrieved the contrabands from the vehicles, and that gave me hope, because if we have enough dogs being trained in this direction, we could use them on the street. Don't be cruel to animals, because they can save your life, they can make you laugh, they can make you happy.
A member of the West African Working Dogs Association, Mr. Kobe Anda, said the association will continue to collaborate with the security agencies to ensure security in the country. The chief PRO of the Ghana Prison Service, CSP Vitalis Ayer, said with this initiative, the issue of bribery will be a thing of the past.
The issue of bribery, when somebody is apprehended, will be out of the way. We can't bribe a dog. A dog is given instructions, is trained to just apprehend the culprits. Unlike a human being, you can dialogue and exchange ideas and exchange notes. Dog will not agree. It will just take it as it is. We need people to come on board and give us support, because as you find in developed countries, the dogs are the perfect security keepers.
The Ghana Prison Service K9 unit was formed in November 2020 with 13 officers, handlers and 2 trainers. The bigger joint force K9 drill display is expected to take place by the end of the year.
A book that documents the 60-year history and bilateral partnership between the Ghana National Association of Teachers, GNAT, and the Canadian Teachers Federation has been launched in Accra. The book outlines the sacrifices of the founding fathers, challenges, breakthroughs, and the way forward for the associations.
Through its membership and service at the World Confederation of Organization of the Teaching Profession and Education International, the Ghana National Association of Teachers GNAT has developed several bilateral partnerships with many international unions. Notable among these are the Canadian Teachers Federation, Danish Teachers Union and Swedish Teachers Union. The 11-chapter book seeks to uphold teacher professionalism, advocacy for quality public education, labor rights, economic welfare and social justice for teachers. Reviewing the book, Ghanaian academic and former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Obeng, described the book as an effective tool to flaunt GNAT's successes and guide teachers to understand the core operations of GNAT.
The identified areas of sustainability provide new directions, taking into consideration fresh needs advanced by the stakeholders. So it is not just, the book does not just look at what has been done, but based on the information available, information obtained from stakeholders, it gives us new areas of possible concentration.
The president of GNAT, Reverend Isaac Owusu, is optimistic of the book's potential to address the challenges of teachers in the country.
Education policy on the teacher continuous professional development is under the jurisdiction of the National Teaching Council. They are mandated by law to issue licenses to in-service teachers and those who potential teachers. And we believe that with the introduction of this book, it will help guide the National Teaching Council in framing of curriculum to help the continual professional development, and it will also help the Ghana Education Service to also prepare a document that is inclusive of the teacher.
The book was penned by Ghanaian researcher and management consultant Dr. Linus Tano.
The bouncing back and makeover of the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park into a world-class tourism park in the heart of Accra has attracted scores of positive feedback. On GBC News' current affairs program, Talking Point, the Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mark Okriku-Mante, said the facelift is in line with plans by the government to make it one of the best tourism and heritage attractions in West Africa. For industry watchers, the preservation of some of our iconic sites and history should be an integrated part of the development of Ghana as a tourist destination.
Kufado says that he wants to make tourism the #1 contributor to Ghana's GDP. And so, if you go for such a big task, it should come with some new ideas. Doing things the same way won't give you different results. And so we must begin to look at our assets. In tourism, we actually live on 4 things. That's the strategy to sell modern tourism. Meetings, incentives is what we call experience, conferences, and then events. And so aggregating all these 4 elements, you need to find the asset that would help you achieve the result with the MICE, which is the MICE, the meetings, incentives, conference, correct? And so you need to give some of your old places facelift. You need to make some of them attractive. So if you look at Kwame Nkrumah before, you look at Kwame Nkrumah before and now, what you see now is more attractive. We are aggregating all the assets we have, it being natural, artificial, all of them, so that we can use them as marketing tools to get people to visit Ghana. This government is building a creative art school in Kumasi, Kwadaso. It's about 70% done. This year, President says we should put together 5 amphitheaters for the creative industry, so filmmakers can have places to show their movies when they are ready. We have the creative art law, because every fraternity or community that does not have a regulator, things do not happen the way they must be. Yeah, there's no order. We have seen what Ghana Tourism Authority has done for tourism. So the Creative Arts Agency is going to do similar to the creative industry. The Creative Arts Law, again, will give back to the Creative Art Fund, which will permits some of the creative practitioners to go for some degree of funding to support what they do. Some of the mistakes had been done with the pricing and hotel. All these costs were there before President Akufo-Addo came to power. He, as a president, said that I want to make tourism the number one, this, that. He led the agenda himself. He actually traveled to Jamaica and other South American countries just to invite people from the diaspora to come for year of return. When the Vice President of USA came to Ghana recently, said that she's in Ghana because our advocates for tourism, President Akufo-Addo, actually convinced or persuaded her to come to Ghana. Anytime he meets her, not even in just USA, any part of the world, the first thing President will ask her is, when are you coming to Ghana? I want you to come and see the Cape Coast Castle.
And she did.
And that's why she came. And so if President is the tourism ambassador himself, who are we to keep quiet and not trumpet what he's already started? President Akufo-Addo's commitment to developing the tourism, arts and culture industry is not a facade. He has shown with some steps that, yes, he meant what he said. And so it's about time our hospitality that we've been bragging with, it's about time we made it business. Instead of just being nice and smiling all around. We need everybody on board. Let's support the president with this vision, because everybody stands a chance of benefiting from tourism, irrespective of your party color.
Back to our earlier story, where members of the National Food Suppliers Association have vacated the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company following assurances from the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Brian Champon, on Friday, July 7, that payments will begin on Monday, July 17. The food suppliers for 5 days pitched camp at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company to demand their money for food items supplied to senior high schools across the country. The spokesperson for the association, Mr. Kweku Amedume, says the group will resume its picketing if the government fails to honor its promise to pay them their money beginning July 17. We have Mr. Amedume on the line to continue the conversation. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What transpired at Friday's meeting, of which you've decided to suspend your picketing at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company?
Yes, I'd like to good evening to your viewers. Yes, indeed, I know the story is out there already about government investment to us. National Food Suppliers Association. On Friday, we met the Deputy CEO. Now, he met us on Thursday, and his proposal was to take us out of the premises. And he says he secured 15 rooms for us that we should go and occupy. And we told him that our members were not there because they were interested or they needed accommodation. They were there because of money matters. So we will not accept any compensation that has nothing to do with money. Then the next day on Friday, we had the Minister, Honorable Brian Champon, the Minister for Food and Agriculture. He also came to give some assurances to the effect that one would say that, or one would ask that we've been given similar such promises by high-profile government officials which never sees the light of day. Why did we back for this one? Indeed, this one, you will agree with me that we have created much more awareness in respect of our issue. We have enumerated our challenges, and the media houses there have witnessed with the general public that, in fact, throughout our commitments, throughout throughout our communications to the public. Buffer stock has not denied the fact that they are owners. Government has not denied the fact that they are owners. They are not denying the fact that the money has been with them for 2 years. They have not denied the fact that even though they decide to pay now, they are not paying with interest. They deny the fact, they are not denying the fact that we have attempted on several occasions. They have given promises upon promises, which never was fulfilled. And so the issues that we have put out there are not in controversy. What we're now looking forward to is government getting committed to its promise this time now, bearing in mind that the criminal public are witnesses. And then the media have also been arrested. And those who downplayed our picketing, for some who thought we should not have organized and picketed at the premises of the buffer stock, I would want to challenge that opinion and disagree with that opinion, because this particular picketing has awakened the whole world. We have aroused the attention of the international the media houses, every media houses have given us the opportunity to air our views. So we feel that we have achieved the milestone, made our issues known. And I believe strongly, if His Excellency the President of the Republic was not hearing us, the great ticket conveyed a much clearer rating to the Jubilee House and Television. And to the people who want to double the politics of that, and we are not interested. Our group is embodied with both NPC members and MPC members, and there are people who are not politicians. And we know every member of this team, and we know each of the political affiliations. We are committed to one cause, we are committed to protecting the interests of the supplier. We are committed to defending the interests of the supplier. That is what we are believing in. We don't believe in affiliate to any political party. We want people and one Ghanaian who have worked, and our money is locked up and demanding money to be paid. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right. I'm sure you have been given a payment plan, with the first installment expected to be disbursed on Monday, July 17. How many of your members have been cleared, and how much are they expecting?
We have not yet been giving any payment plan. We are to meet the Minister of Education tomorrow. I guess that we will be able to know what they have in store for us.
Right. Was there an engagement with the minority in Parliament by your association? What was the outcome?
Yes, indeed, my visits to our association, but on Friday, they visited the buffer stock committee after what discussion about, I cannot tell. But when they came to us, our plans, our challenges, and they are of the opinion that to also consistent pressure on money. And so we have friendly engagement. The minister was also present, where we our issues, we took time to explain our issues. And I guess they appreciate that. And they also do good items with 2,000 cards to support the members' activity.
Let's understand this. Why did you stop working through the buffer stock company and opted for the commodity exchange for supplies? Is that the case?
We did not stop. In fact, we did that started the Ghana education of things and of the few teachers. In 2017, we supplied food in Poultry was no payment issue. There was no payment issue. 2020, there was, but in 2020, that is where they don't take shape. They pay that. But in 2020, they fly, and that was in full of the food. But if you interested, after 2022, after the beginning, the supply was headed. So for the entire year, for the supply needs, any part of 2022, the supply and out money, the free service, unfortunately, if I'm able to started agitation. We were then told by the Minister of Education we had to see 90% the amount we are paid to the buffer. When we approach buffer software, money to loan on it, and then promise that it's not the money to the money. Only for us to discover that the Ministry of Education have different sets of people who are engaged in our products that we supply long ago, and some are paid the submit within a matter of months, and other instances we are giving to the for the team. This we feel very, very, very unfortunate. We were not treated. We were first changed. With no effect. Now the government, instead of coming at the money to ask for our business, we are going to go different projects who are engaged in the program. And we are putting in aspects our businesses, nothing is searching for us. Economy. That is why we are demanding that some things are possible. There is no place doesn't have money. It's becoming
Let me understand. Do we have enough supplies in the senior high schools where in the events where monies are sure to be paid on the 17th, it's not disbursed? The food will be...
I indicate that our contracted needs and the supply. We are no longer in the supply. Whatever we have, our members are that in the business of different sorts of people. And we are the people it is only the Ministry of Education that will be able to explain that
if the monies are not released on July 17, what will be your next line of action?
We will cross out.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amedumek, spokesperson for the members of the National Food Suppliers Association, speaking with us on the suspension of their picketing at the premises of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company over monies owed them amounting to some 200 million Ghana cedis. The 2023 Ghana Poultry Day and Chicken Festival has ended at the forecourt of the State House in Accra. The festival promotes the rich heritage of Ghana's poultry sector and the culinary talents of influential personalities. The event was under the auspices of Agri-House Foundation and other interest groups in the agriculture sector.
It is estimated that over 10 million people in Ghana eat a meal with chicken every day. This translates to over 2 million birds. However, less than 3% of the meat is locally produced. Producers of poultry products are worried that with the growing trend of highly imported chicken, demand for local consumption will be under threat. At the 2023 Ghana Poultry Festival, the Member of Parliament for Klole constituency, Dr. Zinato Ajiman said the local poultry has the potential of creating job opportunities for many Ghanaians, and government must initiate policies to protect and help the growth of the sector.
The cost of production should be in such a way that it can compete with imported goods, because it's not enough to say people should use the locally made chickens, but we need to make sure people can afford buy the local chickens, because otherwise we're looking at a case where we're promoting the idea of local poultry consumption, but it's outside of the price range of most people.
The Executive Director of Agri-House Foundation, Madam Albert Ananecha Akosa, urged Ghanaians to join the advocacy journey of promoting the local poultry business by increasing local consumption.
This is more of an advocacy drive where we want to draw attention to the poultry sector and how we can collectively, in our houses, at our workplaces and everywhere we find ourselves, promote the nutritional benefits of our industry, the opportunities within the industry, the health benefits of our poultry, and the medicinal values.
The 2023 Ghana Poultry Day included a knowledge-sharing panel conversation, chicken recipe exhibitions, networking, and fun-filled activities.
"72-year-old Malam Abubakar Bashar has been diagnosed of a spine and waist condition called laminectomy. Malam Bashar is appealing to the general public to support him with an amount of about 15,000 Ghana cedis to undergo corrective surgery at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra.
Malam Bashar says 8 years ago he fell from a two-story building and became paralyzed. Since then, he has been experiencing excruciating pains all over. Further examinations at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital proved that Malam Abubakar Bashar has a hole in his spinal cord. His son, Swali Abubakar Bashar, says his father can neither move nor walk without a walking stick.
Doctors said the Mokai yes Kasim, Naskasun no, Boasun no, and nearby Sanuna. Yarano Acha on the body, dear Yakote brew or drostona or Yusu, kakra, but Ebedru Tambia Yako and almost just a yempe bois, no omuya operation man.
Malam Abubakar Bashar is therefore appealing to philanthropists to support him financially to enable him to undergo the surgery.
The old word, if you share, the only one,
Anybody who wishes to support Malam Abubakar Bashar can do so through MTN Momo number 0531 619805 0531 619805. No amount is too small.
This is News Hour at 2, coming to you live from our studios here at Kanda. We are back in a bit.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Business with Morris Ogbete. Now, the rapidly evolving digital industry comes with its own pluses and minuses, and the adoption of QR codes at social events in Ghana is one of such. Some operators in the printing industry in Ghana say a good number of their customers have switched to the use of QR codes during funerals, parties, and conferences, and this is affecting their business.
A quick response QR code is a type of barcode that can be read easily by a digital device and which stores information as a series of pixels in a square-shaped grid. QR codes are frequently used to track information about products in the supply chain and often used in marketing and advertising campaigns. During the COVID period, the use of QR codes became very popular, especially at restaurants where customers download the menu with a QR code due to the digital menus available. Players in the printing industry in Ghana are now worried about how QR code usage has led to a decline in their sales. In 2020, due to COVID restrictions on social gatherings, there was a less demand for printing of brochures, pamphlets, etc. This led to many users turning to the use of QR codes, which digitally shows program lineups at events rather than the printing of hard copies. For those in the industry, aside the QR codes, other concerns include the high electricity tariffs and also the high duties at the ports.
Mr. James Apiabek, who is the president of the Ghana Paper Printers and Converters Association, he joins me via phone with a conversation on this particular topic. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Apiabek.
Good afternoon, sir.
Right, so QR codes certainly have come to stay. Technology will unfold. Latest technology will even come to take the place of QR code. What will you do as an industry to ensure that you stay in the printing business?
Oh, yes. Developments in various sectors of the economy and industry keeps switching from one area to the other. QR codes make transactions faster and a little easier than printed material.
Sure.
And
all right, Mr. Belko, are you there? Yes, all right, so we're having a conversation with the president of the Ghana Papers, Printers and Converters Association on the effect of QR codes on their business. We do appear to have lost him on the line there. Let's do some more stories. We'll come back to have that particular conversation. So Mr. Apia is back on the line. Good afternoon to you once again, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
low in volume. I'm positioning myself.
I think it's better. It's better now.
Let's go on. If it is okay.
Sure, it's okay. We can go on.
Hello?
It's okay. I think you just want to move away from your TV set if you are close to your TV set. Mr.
There is no TV.
Right. So we are good. Let's go, sir.
All right. Thanks.
So I really, how is the QR code affecting your business? I mean, QR codes have been with us for some time now. Why are we talking about it now relative to the printing business, sir?
Well, QR code, an electronic substitute to printing, is becoming a lot more interesting and challenging. Whenever there is a solution to a problem, there is the likely adverse side of it, which means a different sector of the business spectrum may see an advantage in one side, reflecting as a challenge or a problem
The fact that solutions are being proffered by various kinds of technology means that the print industry cannot run away from the fact that a substitute to hard copy print that is more acceptable and more convenient means we will have to adapt to the change and look out for other opportunities in any other area.
So what will be your adaptation strategies, and what other opportunities are there for the printing industry because of the effect of QR codes? Quickly before we go.
If you talk about QR only, when you go to the restaurant, there are other print materials that are used in the restaurant, for example, that solve other challenges like drinking from paper cups or using paper towels, printed paper towels that advertise both the restaurant or various uses put to by clients that come to the restaurant. So when it comes to QR code, I think that there will be and continue to be a good substitute, not necessarily how to transmit QR code, but that offers another opportunity for those who need to use paper substitutes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. James Appiah-Berko, President of the Ghana Paper Printers and Converters Association. This is our wrap-up business. The international news is after this break. You stay with us.
Spanish rescuers are searching waters of the Canary Islands for a boat carrying at least 300 African migrants who went missing more than a week ago. Aid walking borders say many children are on board. Two similar boats carrying dozens more people are also said to be missing. The news comes just weeks after Europe saw one of its West Mediterranean migrants shipwrecks when an overcrowded trawler sank off the Greek coast, killing at least 78 people.
Two boats, one carrying about 65 people and the other with between 50 and 60 on board, have been missing for 15 days since they left Senegal to try to reach Spain. A third boat left Senegal on June 27 with about 200 people aboard. The families of those on board have not heard from them since they left. All three boats left Kafountine in the south of Senegal from Tenerife, one of the Canary Islands. The Canary Islands off the coast of West Africa have become the main destination for migrants trying to reach Spain, with a much smaller number also seeking to cross the Mediterranean Sea. The voyage from West Africa to the Canary Islands is among the most dangerous routes for migrants. Last year, at least 559 people died at sea attempting to reach the Spanish islands. The Atlantic migration route, one of the deadliest in the world, is typically used by migrants from sub-Saharan Africa. At least 559 people, including 22 children, died in 2022 in attempts to reach the Canary Islands. Last year, at least 559 people died at sea attempting to reach the Spanish islands.
Health authorities in South Africa are urging residents of Gauteng province to be vigilant about the liquids they consume as the death toll from a winter outbreak of cholera rises to nearly 50. Unions and community groups have demanded more government intervention to improve water quality. Most of the deaths over the last 6 weeks have occurred in the Hamar-Krau area, where residents say they have battled for weeks for access to clean water, but there have been cases across the country. In many areas, tap water is unsafe and people are forced to rely on government tankers. Cholera mainly spread through contaminated water or food. Symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, and dehydration. The Ghana Football Association, Ket Okrekumante, says a strategy has been put in place to ensure an improved Ghana Premier League next season. He also discloses that the association will invest in courts football to facilitate its development.
Continue with our strategy of the provision of brand new Puma boots to our Premier League clubs for the next 2 seasons. Like I said earlier, the independently managed Ghana Premier League Committee will move into phase 2, which will be the implementation strategy stage. 3 GPL venues will benefit from the GFA-sponsored irrigation system program to improve our pitches. The FA will continue to absorb all referee fees for the upcoming season. For coast football, this year, we will invest $100,000 to purchase footballs for our coast teams.
36 goals were scored in match week 4 of the 2022-2023 Beach Soccer Premier League season. Zone 1 recorded 23 goals, while Zone 2 recorded 13 goals. Here are some highlights.
2, Cheetah BSC 5. Nungwa BSC 6, Dansoman BSC 1, Senya Sharks BSC 4, Teshi United BSC 3, Layoka BSC 2, Sea Sharks BSC 0. In Zone 2, Voja Iron Breakers BSC 2, Ada Assurance BSC 2, Sunset Sports Keta BSC 2, Keji Haveji Mighty Warriors BSC 2, Keji Miracle BSC 2, Ocean Stars Tegbi BSC 3. These are the standings of the teams in the 2 zones. First on the table is Layoka BSC with 12 points. Cheetah BSC follows at number 2 with 9 points. At number 3 is Nungwa BSC with 7 points. Number 4, Sea Sharks BSC with 6 points. 5th is Teshi BSC with 5 points. At number 6 is Okre Rangers with 4 points. Senya Sharks BSC with 3 points. And Dansuman BSC at number 8 with 0 points. In Zone 2, Ada Assurance BSC leads with 10 points. At number 2 is Sunset Sports Keta BSC with 7 points. Number 3, Ocean Stars Tegbi BSC with 6 points. 4th, Keji Haveji with 4 points. 5, Voja Iron Bakers BSC with 4 points. Number 6, Keji Miracle BSC with 3 points.
Peace, and that is the art and entertainment news. I am your presenter, Hagar Owusu, and to our first story, this GTV series was so popular across all ages. Many cried while watching it for a variety of reasons. The show brought out the real-life feeling of being an orphan. As we celebrate our 88th anniversary, we take you back to Yamagata in Japan to relive Oshin, as it aired back in the day in the 90s on GTV.
What are you doing here with the baby?
Sir, this is such a big house.
She was an adorable, hard-working young girl who was from a poor family and was employed into a rich family as a babysitter. Oshin, a child under the age of 10 who was supposed to be taken care of, was rather taking care of a baby. Oshin was pretty smart for her age.
Ah, wheat rice is so good. I've never had it before. Do you eat so well every day? You always eat wheat rice here? We always eat radish rice at my house.
Oshin was full of life, but was also a sad child as she was treated badly by the daughter of her masters.
Kayo, who was dressed in a beautiful kimono and who was accompanied by a maid to go to school.
Oshin was a good family movie that got many seated when it rolled to air on GTV.
I'm going to see the Kagayas. Oh, who's the baby? Is that Bisayo?
Yes.
Creative arts and serve you some local and foreign entertainment news.
Actor Ajete Anand has joined colleague actors Juliet Ibrahim and Yvonne Nelson and penned down the story of his life in a book. Many know him as Pusha, and he believes documenting his life in a volume will inspire and guide younger folks to make the right life choices in building up themselves. The actor over the weekend launched a book as he clocks 50. Some colleague actors were present to support their own. The Brit Beyeya band, Kwame Yeboah, is the latest Ghanaian musician to join the Recording Academy of the Grammy Awards. The multi-instrumentalist of international repute, Kwame Yeboah's appointment comes a few days after Ghanaian gospel musician OMG Music also announced his invitation to be part of the Academy. Other Ghanaian musicians who have been part of the Recording Academy are Rocky Dawuni, Stoneboy and Riala. British singer, composer and pianist Elton John has confirmed he would never be touring again, but he may do a one-off thing in future. In concluding his marathon farewell tour in Stockholm, Sir Elton John paid an emotional tribute to his current band and crew, some of whom have been touring with him for many years. He also thanked his fans with one of his biggest hits, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, for loving him and supporting his career. The 76-year-old singer has won 5 Grammy Awards in a spectacular career spanning 50 years and nearly 4,600 performances worldwide. His farewell Yellow Brick Road tour began in North America in 2018 and ended over the weekend.
That's all for the entertainment segment of the news. Catch me same time tomorrow.
And it's a wrap on news at 2. We do appreciate your time. My name is Clara Mlano. Good afternoon.